Yes, good afternoon. It's that favourite time of the day once again. Welcome to SirToshi's Bitcoin Chart Show. This is the Bitcoin forecast, the strength of the system, the health of the network, where we find out what's up with what is going down. Today's date is Monday, the 26th of September 2022. Without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Buy BSV.live, the best place to buy Bitcoin SV online, the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin. Here we go. Right, a little bit of a different show today because I'm going to go through the most essential figures. So for anybody who is interested in this and wants to know what figures to look at, these are the figures that you should be checking on a daily basis. So I'm going to go through them now in the order of priority and then explain them to you. So this is probably one of the first pages you should look at, really, because it's got the four different forks of Bitcoin. Well, it's got BTC, Bcrash, and Fisher Price Cash, which are the protocol forks because they've actually changed the protocol of Bitcoin. And then we've got the original iteration that goes right the way back to the Genesis block that hasn't changed, but it's had a change of ticker symbol due to social engineering and political manipulation. But it's just the original and genuine Bitcoin. So as we look at these figures here, we've got the price at the top, and it's the price that is meant to attract the hash rate. So the hash rate is just simply the number of attempts that miners or those who are invested in the network the number of attempts that they can have a go at finding SHA-256. And the miner who finds SHA-256 first wins the block reward along with the block fee, which is the block they've created containing all the transactions. That's how transactions are managed on the Bitcoin network. So the hash rate is generated and supplied by the nodes. The nodes are themselves the mining operations, and they create blocks. And they also obviously supply the hash rate. So hash rate and network nodes are insignificant to the utility of the network. All they do is help it. They don't actually do anything on it. The utility is measured by the transactions, which is just simply the volume, the number of transactions that upload the data onto the network. So what's really important, as we can see down here, is the block size. So the block size is the amount of data in each block that is being uploaded onto the network. So really, what you're looking at as to how to measure the usefulness of the network is you're looking at the block size and the volume of transactions. So remember, if something is useful, it is valuable. If something is useless, it is worthless. It's as simple as that. So if we look over on BTC and we see network nodes, well, they're just simply the number of mining operations, and the hash rate again is just simply the number of attempts they have finding SHA-256. It's got nothing to do with how much the network is being used. And remember, if something is being used, it means there is a fee attached to each transaction, and there are fees in the block. And it's this block fee that will eventually surpass the block reward, because the block reward gets cut in half every 210,000 blocks. So if you're the powers that be and you own the printing press to the world reserve currency, you obviously don't want Bitcoin to exist. So what you're going to do is tell people not to use it and tell them that they're not meant to use it. So when they don't use it, eventually those miners who are mining it will find that there is not enough block reward to support the mining operations, and the network will collapse. That's how you get rid of Bitcoin. This is why Blockstream invented Lightning Network, to take transactions, to take the transaction profits away from the miners. They are starving the miners of their transaction fees, which is why the network just simply won't be able to exist, because the block reward gets cut in half every 210,000 blocks, which is approximately every 4 years. So you can see what's going to happen. It's all going to come over here. You really don't have to be a rocket scientist. So again, most important metrics: transaction volume and block size being the data. So then, just for something interesting, you can actually have a look at the block. Look at these blocks coming through. Look at that. Tal have mined a 3.5 gigabyte block straight out the gates, and then a few blocks down we've got a 1.2 gigabyte block. My goodness me, a 1.5 gigabyte block, another 1.5 gigabyte block, a 1.6 a gigabyte is 1,000 megabytes. Like, good grief, I mean, absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. So it's the volume, the amount of, so the size of the data is what generates the transaction fee. So the more data you upload, the more it costs. But the more people that use the network, the more the volume is increased, the lower the cost. So it actually incentivizes more people to use the network. It's a phenomenal system. So we'll just skip a few here after this one. So again, transaction and block size being the most important one, and then just feast your eyes on the blocks coming through, because that's really important. The next important one is the profitability. So we'll just have a look at the profitability here. There we go. So it's the profitability that shows you how secure and safe the network is, because the miners have to stay in profit. That's what they are there for. If the miners cannot remain in profit, they will close down. So if you want to see how safe your investment is, or how healthy the network is, you just simply look at the mining profitability. Obviously, there is politics involved in this at the moment, but certainly when utility value takes off, profitability will be absolutely key. So I'd always recommend keeping an eye on that metric. The other one is the growth of the network. So it's the size of the chain, which is down here. Here we go. So daily accumulated Bitcoin blockchain growth by network. So this shows you the chain that all the miners will eventually be mining, because it's the most useful network. So miners chase profits. Miners are not going to mine something that doesn't have a use case. So really, if you want to know where all the miners end up, you just simply follow the chain that is growing the fastest, which is the one in red, which is obviously BSV. It's kind of obvious, really. So that's the third one. And then I suppose you might want to sort of have a quick look at the mining operations. Again, there's politics going on here, because it's Bitcoin that will save the world from totalitarian dictatorship, but it's the miners that will save Bitcoin. So the battle for Bitcoin is in with the miners, and the miners chase profits, which is why I just said to you it's really important to keep your eye on there. So you can see where eventually they will come, and there's huge amounts of changes that have happened on this network recently. So I'm guessing they are getting ready for a huge influx of miners. That's what it looks like, due to the growth of the network, the amount of data and the volume of transactions being uploaded to it. So they're just waiting, and then when the miners move their hash rate over, the miners are just like, well, why are we mining this? And holding all these other shitcoins. That's when they'll start dumping their bags, and the price goes absolutely crazy. But we'll come to that in just a minute. So the next one I'd recommend looking at is this one here. So this is the transactions last 24 hours. So this is all chains. This is the entire crypto market. And remember, cryptos are security offerings. Bitcoin is a commodity. And the commodity protocol only follows Bitcoin, the original iteration, the genuine Bitcoin, which is BSV. And look at that. 57.2% of the entire volume of transactions on the entire market. This is all nearly sort of 20,000 shitcoins. So this is an extremely significant figure. So let's have a look at the price here again. So look at this just recently. So 24-hour price movement on Bitcoin is up 6.21%, and it looks like a BTC is struggling. Look, it's only up 1.09%, so they'll probably be printing Tether to try and move the price up. And then we've got Ethereum here only moving 1.8. So, yeah, extremely significant. So, just for lulz, what I normally do now is I look at the short positions. So, this graph here on Bitfinex just simply shows you the short positions on Bitcoin, which is BSV. And the volume of short positions is, and these are the people betting that the price will go down, is represented by this red line at the top. And the long positions are those people betting that the price will go up, is along the bottom. So there's currently a short ratio here of 92.37. So 92% of the market think that BSV is actually still going to go further down in price, which is kind of amusing, really, when you realize that it's got 57% of the entire transaction volume on the entire market, which is hilarious. And if we look at the block size, look, 99.69% of the data flowing onto the network in comparison to BTC, Bcrash, and Fisher Price Cash. Honestly, absolutely hilarious. So we'll just have our dirty dollar bro telling us how excited he is about the short positions. Here we go.
Alright guys, I'm making a drastic change to my portfolio and I'm buying BSV. I'm even selling some Bitcoin to buy BSV. Why? It's because of this tweet, right? So look at this tweet. Elon Musk says, ideally, Doge speeds up block time 10x, increases block size 10x, and drops fees 100x. Then it wins hands down. Elon is basically saying we need bigger blocks. Guys, the blocks on BSV are 2 gigabytes each. The blocks on Bitcoin are 1 megabyte. I know Bitcoin maxis always say that's a feature, not a bug, but look, BSV can be digital cash. It can make micropayments, and you can build social media applications on top of it. I am buying BSV, and it's the most shorted coin in the world. We might have a GameStop situation here in crypto. This price can go astronomically high.
Cheers, mate. Love the enthusiasm there. So we'll check the short positions on BTC. So remember, this is SegWit protocol. That's how the chain of signatures that start at the Genesis block segregated, meaning the blockchain are now no longer accountable to anybody on the network. They can do things that nobody else would know about, meaning it's a centralized piece of crap. It's a security offering. And yet, because they've stolen the ticker symbol and socially engineered it, the traders are only giving it a short ratio of 2.3%. Which is hilarious. So there's all these people longing it, and they have no idea that it's an absolute piece of crap and it doesn't do anything. You literally just look at the block size and the transaction volume. There's no one using it. It's a speculative piece of crap. Then, again, just for those who are interested, I just generally tend to have a look at the hash rate here, because this is going to go absolutely mental very soon. This is going to follow the growth of the chain. If you remember, we looked at that chart, so that's going to be really good. I then look at coin carbon cap just to show you how efficient Bitcoin is in comparison to the rest of these shitcoins. Honestly, look, I mean, look at this. Look, 9,761 transactions per megawatt hour in comparison to Bcrash in second place. It's 21. That's not 210,000. That's not 2,100. That's 21 in comparison to 9,761. There's no comparison in the efficiency. This again is quite interesting. So this says here, so Bitcoin exchange reserve, all exchanges. So this purple line here is actually the amount of BTC that the exchanges are holding in reserves as for their liquidity. And you can see they have been slowly cashing out. The black line here is the price that's going up. So they're actually still selling out as the price has been going up, because they know they do not want to be holding any of this shit when the music stops, because it's an utter piece of crap ever since Blockstream implemented SegWit on the 24th of August 2017. One, it became legally and economically worthless, but it's also useless. It's only got a 1 megabyte block size. You can't upload any data onto it. It's literally insane. This is also quite an interesting one to look at. This is live coin watch, just because, yeah, nice looking price there. As you scroll down here, it's got the depth chart. So this is how the market price is set. The shade of green on the left-hand side shows you the volume of buyers coming into the market, and the shade of red on the right shows you the volume of sellers in the market. And where the trades meet each other, where buyers agree to sell and sellers agree to buy, is what sets the market price. So we've currently got a market price of $51.96, which is pretty great. Also quite interesting here. Whoa, look at this volume. Look at the volume coming in. 7.85. That is massive. Whoa, it suddenly shot up. We'll just compare that to BTC. Trade volume 7.1. I wonder if that was money coming in from to Bitcoin from BTC. Who knows? I do quite like looking at CoinGecko, just because they've got a chart here saying how are we feeling about it today. Feeling good, 94%. The morning run's kind of interesting. It just shows you purchases. So we've had 3,936,191 purchases of Bitcoin over the last 24-hour period. What's on chain is interesting because it just simply shows you the hash rate, so we'll just be watching that like a hawk. That will increase absolutely exponentially. It's going to be absolutely massive. We've got transactions currently in the memory pool waiting to go on chain, and this also tells us how many transactions we've had over the last 24 hours, which is currently 3,801,975. The Whale wallet, we can see that the Whale wallet topped up 1,450 BSV on the 20th of September. I mean, that's a huge wallet there. Tether's kind of interesting, the Tether weather, because, oh, look at this. So this is why BTC hasn't pumped. So usually when BSV pumps, the powers that be like to pump BTC along with it. So they put in a huge order of Tether to then buy BTC to try and pump the price. But it looks like they haven't done that yet, but I'm sure it'll probably be coming on the way. Oh yeah, so it's in the red. But let's have a look at the market cap. Yeah, no volume of orders coming in yet. But you can see when they put in these huge orders, which pumps the price of BTC. I mean, look at this. There is no use case for BTC. There's no one using it. Nobody buys it to use it. They're just buying it and hodling, doing nothing with it. They've got no intention of using it as cash. So all they're looking at doing is selling out at the top, which is when they will owe 40% capital gains tax most likely. I mean, it's absolutely insane when you realise what's going on. Let's have a quick look at Silverfish. So we've had 8,420 views of this over the since it was first uploaded. That's awesome. And tell you what, while we're here, we will actually just check the prices of that, and that. So this is BSV versus B. Look at this. Look at this. So this is BSV versus BTC. So BSV is shot up. So it looks like those BTCers are asleep at the wheel because they'll be wanting to purchase huge amounts of Tether in order to pump the price of BTC because they don't want this. They don't want BSV surpassing BTC in terms of price in case the traders catch on to what's going on. So we've already seen that Bitcoin BSV is up around 5%, and Coolcoin BTC is only up around 1%. They just don't want the market seeing it. Wow. And this is Bitcoin versus US dollar. So look at that. Had a huge. And again, this is not Tether. This is not Tether pumping this. This is the market. This is the market showing a huge volume coming in. Phenomenal. And then this is so BTC versus USD. So look, they had a pump like trying to match BSV, but they just can't. It's too big. It's too obvious as to what they're doing. Hilarious, if you ask me. All right then. So just remember, these are quotes by Nathan Rothschild and Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger said, "Who controls food supply controls the people. Who controls the energy can control whole continents. And who controls money can control the world." And Nathan Rothschild said, "I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England to rule the empire in which the sun never sets. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply." So you imagine the lengths that these people have gone to control the US dollar and make it the world reserve currency. So the only way we can escape a totalitarian one world government dictatorship is by the people having their own money. So we either have a common money used by the people to create government that works for the people, or government will create money to control the people. So this is why Bitcoin is really important. And remember, a digital protocol can only be commoditized with a fixed supply, a locked protocol, infinite scale in the form of an uncapped block size, so restrictions and limitations can't be manufactured, economic competition in the form of proof of work, that's hash rate, and the chain of digital signatures for common accountability, which is why BTC implemented SegWit on the 24th of August 2017, segregating the signatures on the chain, meaning that the digital signatures are now no longer attached to any transactions, meaning that you cannot legally prove who sent and received the transaction, so it can't be used as money. And that's exactly what Roger Ver and his friends were doing on Bcrash when they were actually deleting some of the transaction data. Honestly, absolutely insane. So this is also an important chart, just a note here. So this here represents the block reward. So as you can see, Bitcoin started out with a block reward of 50 Bitcoin per block. That got cut in half to 25, and then that gets cut in half to 12.5, then 6.25, which is what we're on at the moment. So as the block fee gets cut in half, or as the block reward gets cut in half, the block fee, representing the solid blue line here, will eventually surpass the block reward, and then we have an economically self-sustaining system, which is what we are gunning for. There we go, 20-minute show. Hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.